ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For our Do Now today, we are going to be doing division and reviewing what we did yesterday and writing our remainders as a fraction in lowest terms. So let's get started. Our first problem, 37,370 divided by 4. So we cannot make any groups of 4 out of the 3, but we can make 9 groups of 4 out of 37. That's 36. And when we subtract, we have a difference of 1. We're going to bring the 3 down to make that 13. So 4 goes into 13 3 times. That's 12. And again, we have a difference of 1 here. We're going to bring the 7 down to make that 17. 4 goes into 17 4 times. That's 16. We have a difference of 1. And then we're going to bring the 0 down. 4 goes into 10 2 times. That's 8. We have a difference of 2. So our remainder goes in the numerator, divisor 4 goes in the denominator, and then we're going to reduce that 2/4 down to 1/2. So our quotient is 9,342 and 1/2. On to question number 2. We have 942 divided by 15. So I'm going to try 15 times 6 to see what that product is. And that's 90. That's just under the 94 because we can't make a group of 15 out of the 9. So we're going to put a 6 just above the 4. And when we subtract, we have a difference of 4. We're going to bring the 2 down. And 15 times 3 is 45. That's too big. So it's got to be 2 groups instead. 2 times 15 is 30. We have a difference of 12. So our remainder goes in the numerator, divisor of 15 goes in the denominator. Both of those numbers are divisible by 3. And we end up with 4/5 as our remainder. So 62 and 4/5 is our quotient. All right, so let's get on to today's lesson. Today we're going to continue on with long division, but now we're going to write the remainder in decimal form. So let's start with question number 1. 578 divided by 8, and you can pause the video right now and work it through on your own and check your answer with mine as you like, or watch me work it through if you're unsure of the topic. So I can't make a group of 8 out of the 5. I'm going to put a placeholder just above it. 0. 8 goes into 57 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. And we have a difference of 1. I'm going to bring the 8 down. 8 goes into 18 twice. That's 16. We have a difference of 2. So at this point, instead of writing it in fraction form, I'm going to add a decimal point after the ones place, after the 8, and add a 0 so that I can continue bringing it down and dividing. So that 2 now becomes 20. I'm also going to bring the decimal point up into the quotient there, straight up, and continue dividing. 8 goes into 20 twice. That's 16. We have a difference of 4. I'm going to add another 0 and bring it down and continue dividing. We can add an endless amount of zeros here to help us with our division. So 8 goes into 40 exactly 5 times. And we're going to stop dividing because we have no remainder now. So our quotient there is 72 and 25 hundredths. Let's try question number 2. We have 2,288 divided by 6. So I'm going to put a placeholder above the 2 because I can't make any groups of 6. I can make 3 groups of 6 out of 22. That's 18. And when I subtract, we have a difference of 4. We're going to bring the 8 down. 6 goes into 48 8 times exactly. So when we subtract, there's a difference of 0. We're going to bring the 8 down. And 6 goes into 8 1 time. That's 6. When we subtract, the difference is 2. Again, we're going to add a decimal point just after the 8 along with a 0. You can add a couple of zeros here at the same time if you like, or just one at a time. It's up to you. We're also going to bring the decimal point up into the quotient. And we're going to bring our 0 down so we can keep dividing. 6 goes into 20 3 times. That's 18. We have a difference of 2. And when I bring this 0 down, the next 0, I end up with 20 again. That goes in 3 times, and 18. So you see this pattern of 20 minus 18 repeating over and over and over again. So to write a repeating decimal, we're just going to put a bar over the last 3. So we could write it as 381.33 repeating with a bar over the last 3, a bar over both 3's, or we can write it as 381 and only 1 3 with a bar over it. What would not be appropriate is writing it as 381.3 with a bar over the first 3 and then another 3 after it. Because theoretically, the bar means that those 3's will continue on for forever, endlessly. So to have another 3 at the end of infinity just doesn't make sense. So this is not appropriate form to write it like that. All right, let's go on to question 3. We have 399 divided by 28. All right, so I know we can make one group of 28 out of 39. And when we subtract, we have a difference of 11. So let's bring the 9 down. And in my head, I know 28 is close to 30. And if we did 4 groups of 30, that would be 120. It's too big. So let's try 3 groups. So we'll do 28 times 3. And that's 84. Let's try 4 groups also. We'll see if it goes over 119. It's 112. 112 is most appropriate, so we're going to put a 4 just above that last 9. And we have a difference of 7. So I'm going to add a decimal point here, and a 0, and a decimal point above as well. And I'm going to bring the 0 down to make it 70. All right, looks like 3 groups is too big at 84, so let's try 2 groups and see what that product is. It's 56. So I'm going to put a 2 up here, and we're going to subtract 56. So our difference is 14. I'm going to add another 0 and bring that 0 down to make it 140. And it looks like if 4 groups is 112, I'm going to try 5 groups here and see what that product is. And it's exactly 140. That's what we're looking for so that we can stop dividing. We'll have no remainder here. So our quotient is 14 and 25/100ths. Let's try one more. We have 2,862 divided by 72. So we can't make any groups out of the 2 or the 28. We may be able to make 4 groups because I know 70 times 4 is 280. So let's try 72 times 4. And it's too big. So we're going to do 72 times 3. 288 is just over 286. Right, so it goes in 3 times. Our product is 216, and we have a difference of 70. We're going to bring the 2 down to make that 702. Well, I know that 10 groups of 72 is 720, and that's too big. So we're going to try 9 groups of 72. And that's 648. All right, when we subtract here, we end up with remainder of 54. We're going to add a decimal point and a 0 so that we can continue dividing. All right, I'm thinking 3 groups gives us 216. I'm going to double that to 6 groups. And that's 432. We might be able to add another group, so let's try 7 groups. $504, that looks appropriate. So I'm going to bring the decimal point up and put in 7 groups. When we subtract, we have a difference of 36. So I'm going to add another 0 and bring that 0 down. 360. So 360 looks like it's probably somewhere between 4 groups and 6 groups. So let's try 72 times 5. 5 groups. And that's exactly 360. That's what we're looking for. We have no more remainder here, so we can stop adding zeros and bringing them down and dividing. So our quotient is 39 and 75 hundredths. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Continue on with the practice problems. If you have questions, please message me, or we'll talk in the Google Meet tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.